and fermentation, movies and inebriation. With films and fermentation, comedy mixed with tasty libation. Films and fermentation, with Leo, Batman and Mike.
Hey, movie lovers, this is Leo.
Mike.
And Kevin from Films and Fermentation.
If you love comedy, movies, and a good drink in hand, then you need to check out the Pod Nation Media Network.
It's home to a variety of amazing podcasts covering everything from pulp culture to history and, of course, movies like ours.
And the best part, Pod Nation Media Network is featured on Roku, so you can stream your favorite podcasts anytime.
Alongside Films and Fermentation, you'll find other fantastic shows like the KJ&A podcast, The Undiscovered Entrepreneur, Real Sharks, and so many more.
So grab a drink, press play, and join the fun with Pod Nation Media Network.
Because everything's better with a little comedy, movies, and booze.
Learn more by going to linktree.com/podnationpods. It's the time for this wonderful show. Hello, welcome to Films and Fermentation. This is episode 199. 99. This is our penultimate episode before the 200th episode spectacular. And for tonight, we decided to do something a little different. We're going to be opening up the mailbag for the first time ever and reading some letters from you all, some comments, questions, suggestions, and such that we have been collecting. Yeah, we have a PO box, you know.
Oh, wow.
So, I've been collecting these for a few months now and saving them up. So finally getting around to these messages that have been sent to us.
That's because it's coming through snail mail, right? You know, the real letters.
It takes a really long time when they keep laying off mailmen. Welcome to Films and Fermentation, a movie and alcohol podcast, #1 pop culture podcast on Good Pods. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
We're three friends who like to talk shit about movies while getting shit-faced. In this episode, we finally checked the inbox and discovered that people actually were listening to us. It's our very first listener mailbag episode where you ask the questions and we pretend to know the answers. From movie debates to drink suggestions, we're driving headfirst into your messages like Tom Hanks riding on into Meg Ryan's DMs.
You've got mail.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah. So buckle up, pop a cork, and let's open the cinematic Pandora's box together. Don't forget to drop us an email at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsandfermentation. Find all of our social media and podcast links. Become part of the Films and Fermentation family by joining us on the Pod Nation Media Network on Roku or visiting our Substack to join our official newsletter. We are an independent podcast, which means we are listener supported, so please consider joining our Patreon for as little as $1 a month to receive members-only content. That's right, for a $1 donation, Mike will be your guest dungeon master for your next D&D session. Go to patreon.com/films and fermentation or purchase our merchandise at teespring.com. You can also text us at 904-867-4466. Unfortunately, none of the mailbag stuff tonight came from the text box, so you don't have any anonymous messages to worry about tonight. Yeah, jackass. We are also a podcast that likes to talk about drinks, so what are we drinking tonight? Mike had a rough.
Oh,
I was going to say Mike had a rough day, so I think I'm going to let Mike go.
go for it, Mike.
Well, this weekend I went out to buy some beer for our little murder mystery we had, and I found Kelsey's, Jason Kelsey's beer. This is garage beer, classic small batch brewed lime beer. It is 4% alcohol by volume. Go Birds.
Go Bird.
Go Birds.
And we partook of some of that beer on Saturday, Kevin and I. And
Mhm. Yeah.
I have to say it was tasty. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was the most. That was the most of the 3 types of beer I had that was drunk.
Mhm.
Kevin, what do you got going tonight?
I have a reliable gin and tonic.
That's good, man.
Just because it's refreshing on
And
these hot days.
Got that ice in there. Yep.
Mhm.
So for anybody not familiar with where we live in the tri-state area, we have weird temperature fluctuations all the time, where it'll be 70 degrees one day, 30 the next, and then 120 the day after that. Today is one of those 120-degree days. It is a hot motherfucker out there. Mike can tell you he was on a boat with no air conditioning today. He looks as good as that sounds right now.
Which is an improvement.
So I said it is a hot summer day, which deserves a nice, refreshing drink. So I just have a good old Mike's hard black cherry lemonade.
Nice.
And I have a second one ready to go when I kill this one. So, Mike, let's keep the show going here with a little.
This week in film history with Mike. This week in film history with Mike.
You can tell how tired I am. I was trying to do my film history before my intro started.
Well, what are you going to do?
1969, The Wild Bunch, directed by Sam Peckinpah and starring William Holden and Ernest Borgnine, is released.
Yes, I'm not as familiar with the older westerns as Mike is, but I know this one because I do like a good Sam Peckinpah film once in a while.
1974, Chinatown, directed by Roman Polanski, starring Jack Nicholson and Faye Dunaway, is released.
What are you going to do, Jake? It's Chinatown.
1975 film Jaws, based on the book by Peter Benchley, directed by Steven Spielberg and starring Roy Scheider, is released.
So this is the 50th anniversary of Jaws this year. Stay tuned for later in the summer. We're going to be doing a little Jaws revisit for Shark Week.
Kevin's
going to have some of his students guest on that episode because they love the movie.
Oh yeah. They have much to say. Much to say. Not to you,
but
not in their papers, but
only on TikTok.
Yeah.
What do you got there, Mike?
1980 musical comedy film The Blues Brothers, starring Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi, featuring appearances by Aretha Franklin, Cab Calloway, and Ray Charles, opens in 594 theaters.
Let me tell you a story about Minnie the Moocher. She's a regular hoochie coochie. I love Blues Brothers. What's the next one you got, sir?
1992, Batman Returns, starring Michael Keaton as Batman, Danny DeVito as the Penguin, and Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, is released.
Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. Speaking of classics.
2001, The Fast and Furious film, directed by Rob Cohen, starring Paul Walker and Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez, premieres.
I can't believe that movie's 24 years old.
No.
I can't believe they keep making them.
I can't believe it went from the first film where he was trying to arrest him for stealing DVD VCR combos to the last film where they flew a car in space.
About family.
All about family.
Family. What's the next one, sir?
2005, David Tennant's first appearance as the 10th Doctor in the BBC Doctor Who episode, The Parting of Ways.
That's right. Where were we? Barcelona. Those are his first words.
What?
All right, now I can hear. Now I can hear that fan, Kev.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Loud and clear now.
They crank up. I'm sorry.
A little bit. It's okay. Go on, Mike.
2014, Transformers: Age of Extinction, directed by Michael Bay, our favorite director, and starring Mark Wahlberg, premiered in Hong Kong, highest grossing film in 2014 with $1.104 billion.
Oh, I know you're tired, man, because you skipped the more important one. You skipped 2009 Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen.
Oh, shit. I did.
That one had Shia LaBeouf and Meg Fox in it.
There were two Transformers back to back, and I just missed one.
Honestly, you're not really missing anything. So
again, another one of our favorite directors, Michael Bay.
Yeah. Next one, sir.
2015, Pixar's animated film Inside Out is released with voices by Amy Poehler,
Yep.
Phyllis Smith, Louis Black, Bill Hader, and Mindy Kaling.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I like Inside Out. I think it's a good movie.
Yeah. Got me in touch with my feelings.
Next one, sir.
2017, British actor Daniel Day-Lewis announces his return to acting.
And I have to say, I think he's sticking to it because he hasn't made a film since 2017.
No.
Can you name Daniel Day-Lewis's final movie?
It was the one where he was the fashion designer.
That's good. It's called The Phantom Thread.
That's what I said.
And the last one you got there, sir.
And 2022, Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences apologizes to Sasheen Littlefeather for the treatment she received when she declined an Oscar on behalf of actor Marlon Brando in 1973.
The irony of that is she was there to talk about the mistreatment of Native Americans.
And she was mistreated?
Yes, she was not a Native American. She was an actress playing a Native American. A whole bunch of irony there. All right. That was our film history for this week. Let's hear about some beer news now.
Kevin's here, he's here for beer. He's got news, it's beer news with Kevin.
How easy that could be changed to Beers News with Nolan.
Nolan. Just the right amount of syllables, sir.
Yeah.
So before you read the first article, is the worst rated beer in the world possibly the pretzel flavored one that I had that one time?
No.
Could it be the one that I had that tasted like pine cone? Could it be Bud?
It is a Bud. Yes, it is.
It is really? Oh,
it is a Bud. Yeah.
Nice. All right, let's hear about it.
All right. So this is from Delish.com. They officially rated beers. This is the worst rated beer in the world. Beers can be as nuanced as a bottle of wine, each crafted with its own unique blend of hops, grains, water, and yeast. Those who prefer hoppier beers may reach for an IPA, while those who are looking for more decadent brews might choose an imperial stout, like me. And while people might have different taste buds and different preferences, when it comes to beer, one thing drinkers can align on is what beer they don't want to drink, particularly ones that taste like salted pretzels and pine cones. The popular review site Beer Advocate keeps an up-to-date list of the all-time worst-rated beers from around the world. And it might shock some to learn that one of the United States' most popular brands tops the list. Budweiser Select 55, clocking in at a low 2.4 ABV, takes the crown no one wants to win as the worst rated beer.
There's
This
no
rank
alcohol in it.
2.4. Yeah. Is that
it's
the
mouthwash.
is the Select 55 supposed to be like their low carb beer?
I believe so, yeah.
That's probably why.
This ranking is determined by averaging users' ratings, excluding beers with too few reviews, and continuously updating the list as new data comes in. There appears to be a trend among the list of worst ranking beers, and the majority of them are light beers. Following Budweiser Select 55, which I have never tried, comes Natural Ice, Miller Extra Light, Keystone Light, and Natty Ice. Budweiser Select 55 has an average rating of 1.65 out of 5, while the beers that rank second through fifth worst score 1.77, 1.81, 1.85, and 1.86 respectively. One of the reviews for Budweiser Select 55 stated, "This really is the worst beer ever made." But that's not all bad for news for Budweiser. The brand's classic Budweiser did rank number 63 in terms of popularity. We'll take that.
1.65 still ranks higher than some of the worst rankings I have on Untapped.
I'm sure.
This person apparently had not tried either the pretzel flavored beer or the pine cone beer. Pine tree, whatever it was.
I'm sure they have now.
Well, let's hear your next one you got there, sir.
All right, gentlemen. Man charged with stabbing at San Antonio bus stop after beer dispute turns violent, say police.
They were arguing about which had the worst beer.
Probably. Police recovered a red box cutter from the suspect's pocket.
The argument was over whether it tastes great or was less filling.
A man was arrested after an argument over beer, leading to a stabbing on the northwest side back in May, according to San Antonio Police Department. Avelino Lopez was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, according to the SAPD incident report. Documents say San Antonio police were called to a cutting in progress at a VIA bus stop located at the 2100 box of Fredericksburg Road around 6 p.m. on May 6th.
I know I want to laugh too. I'm trying to hold back. Fucking cutting in progress.
I'm sorry.
What's the difference between a cutting and a stabbing? I guess one slashes and one pushes. I don't know.
Yeah, he's going back and forth, so he's cutting it.
Hold still while I cut this. Police said upon arrival, a man was found with a life-threatening stab wound. The victim was taken to a local hospital. Witnesses told SAPD that an altercation between Lopez and the victim initially broke out over beer. The verbal altercation then quickly transformed into a physical fight. At some point during the fight, Lopez came up to the victim and stabbed him with a red knife, according to the
thought he cut him.
Witnesses also told police Lopez smelled like alcohol. Investigators said that after the stabbing, Lopez ran onto a nearby bus. Lopez reportedly yelled at the bus driver to go, but the driver had already clicked his emergency button and refused to move the bus.
He was so drunk he thought he was in speed.
Go!
Even above 55 miles per hour. The driver also closed the protective window on his driver's seat and waited for the police. Lopez was detained by police on scene without further incident. The San Antonio Police Department recovered the red box cutter from Lopez's pocket. Police said blood and hair could be seen on the blade. Lopez was sent to Bexar County Jail.
It's going to say what the actual argument was.
Yeah,
Beer.
Less
Beer.
beer. Tastes great,
What
less
about
filling.
beer?
Beer.
Tastes great, less filling. Tastes great, less filling. Welcome to Films of Fermentation, folks. The only show that can make light of a stabbing.
It was a cutting in progress.
It was a regular cutting edge story.
It was a drive-by fruiting.
Hey, Mike, you got any must-try beer craft destination for us tonight?
I do. We're going to talk about Asheville, North Carolina. Asheville has long been deemed one of the best beer cities in the country. This picturesque city is home with some of the huge breweries like Sierra Nevada, Highland, and New Belgium, but also more localized spots like Barrel, Dissolver, Zillicoach, and New Origin. Don't miss the Whale for a great beer bar. I'm assuming that's some kind of bar or drink establishment. The Whale.
I don't know if I want to drink at a place called Burial.
Why not?
All right, everybody. As I said at the beginning in our opening segment there, this is our very first mailbag episode. And in honor of that, I put together a special theme song for tonight. I've been keeping this from you guys because I wanted to surprise you with a brand new theme song.
Good morning, short, and it's time to rise and shine. Grab your mugs and movies, it's fermentation time. We're laughing and we're sipping, the popcorn's in the bowl. And guess what? Our mailbag is out of control. It's mail time, ding ding, let's see what you wrote. From silly little questions to a heartfelt note. Cheers to you, the fans who care. We're reading your letters with love and flair. Will Kevin rant? Will Mike mispronounce? Will Leo read a limerick that really counts? You asked, we answer with giggles galore. It's mailbag madness, who could ask for more?
Adorable.
You corned beef drinking motherfucker.
I am severely addicted to the music AI.
Apparently.
I love making.
Was
I love creating songs with the music AI. It's awesome. This one the prompt was, give me a children's Saturday morning like Playhouse theme song.
Holy shit.
And I showed Katie the picture I created with us as little cartoon animal characters, and she's like, you got a fucking problem.
You think?
Yeah. So over the last few months or so, I've been collecting some questions, some suggestions, and some general comments from you, our faithful audience. So we're going to take a look at them tonight. I figured,
Not
guys,
so faithful after that song.
What's that?
Not so faithful after that song.
I don't know. I think I might get us more people if they think we're a children's show. So we're gonna take a look at this. I figure we can kind of jump around, like maybe do a question, then read a comment or whatever, and kind of like mix it up a little bit. So why don't we just start off then with the very first question from at Real Buzzed on Threads, who asks, if you could jump into any movie bar for one night, which would it be, and what drink are you ordering? And I thought about this one for a while. I couldn't come up with like a movie bar that I really wanted to go to. So I went the TV route because, goddamn, I would love to go to Cheers and sit next to Norm and have a beer with him.
Nice.
I mean, that's the dream, I think. You guys come up with
I
something?
thought you were going to say the drunken clam.
That'd be funny too. Me and Peter could have a laugh off.
I think I'd want to go to Sister Margaret's School for Wayward Girls. It's just entertaining to watch the clientele. I'd order a blowjob.
Just for anybody out there not familiar, we are talking about Deadpool.
Talking about Deadpool.
That is the Deadpool bar. It looks like two angry avocados having sex with each other.
I think this one I would go to the bar for The Color of Money. Have a 7 and 7.
That's a good one too. I actually was trying to come up with like a movie bar before the show, and I thought the bar in Goodfellas would be fun. Just sit next to Jimmy Conway and have a 7 and 7 with him.
Yeah.
I also thought, what's that?
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. I also thought, Cocktail. Yeah, Cocktail with Tom Cruise. Like that would be a fun one too. But ultimately, I went with Cheers. Like like the film set Cheers. You know, sit next to the door and have a beer kind of thing.
Yeah.
And when we've gone, I mean, it really doesn't look anything like.
Oh no!
You know, I mean, obviously, it's Hollywood. They made their own set. Just
so they make their own set. The outside is a real place. In Boston, that they hate tourists. They hate when people come in to see the bar because of Cheers. They do have a Cheers bar in Quincy Market that is it looks like a pop-up, but it's an actual bar.
Yeah.
But it's got like Cheers themed memorabilia and stuff around it. I should have drank out of my Norm Peterson beer mug tonight that I have. So maybe we can skip down to the suggestions and read one of the suggestions that we got here. We got at Shack449 who sent us an email. A full episode on Bond's bar tab. Calculate how much he drinks across the franchise, for science. So that's what, like 26 movies?
If you can count on at least one, martini, what is it?
This martini shaken not stirred.
Shaken not stirred. But here's the thing. Then you got to get into conversions for where is he drinking it? How much does it cost?
Is it in Monaco? Is it in London?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it the 60s? Is it the 2000s? You got to put some inflation in there. I mean, if I had to guesstimate, I would say $3 billion. But
billion?
MI6 has the tab covered.
Yeah, it's he meets with M, and she's like, "You really need help, Bond."
Well, it's better than him going to the red light district. Over in that tab.
I bet you Bond's intervention would be a lot of fun. Thank you, Shack, for that scientific question. Let's pop back to the regular questions here. At Tap It Like Tarantino on X wonders, what's a movie that gets drinking culture completely wrong, and what's one that nails it? This was a really tough one. I had to think about this one a lot.
I got the one that gets drinking culture wrong. I had a tough idea coming up with the one that gets drinking culture right.
Yeah,
I got Sideways for what drinking culture gets wrong in terms of...
Really? I considered that one for right.
Did you?
Yeah, I mean,
maybe I just don't hang around enough wine snobs to know whether or not that's actually how they.
All you have to do is hang out with me and my wife. We go to wineries all the time.
Why? Jesus.
Yeah, I got the I've never been to wine country in Napa Valley like they go to in the film, so I don't know if it's a little more. If the snobbishness is accurate for that area, because we go up in the Finger Lakes and we go around here in Jersey, and it's a little bit different environment. So,
well, there's a few that we went to down in Virginia, and they would drown if it rained. Their noses are so stuck up. I swear to God.
Yeah, I mean there are wine snobs. Yes.
There's plenty of them out there. So
my wife and I usually end up at the one that the bachelorette parties end up at, and that's usually a lot different community.
know which one gets drinking right?
What gets drinking right?
Coyote Ugly.
Because
that happens at every bar I go to.
The movie is terrible, but the Coyote Ugly bar in New York that it's based on actually kind of is like that. They do have hot women get up on the bar and dance.
The problem with the question is it depends upon what kind of culture you're talking about, because sometimes Roadhouse culture is real too.
Yeah, because I know a lot of really popular bouncers that are,
they're not popular, but fighting and they get thrown out of bars.
Yeah, I understand. It's because I understand how pain don't hurt.
It don't hurt. It don't hurt.
I had a lot of trouble with this. My wife actually helped me with this one. She came up with 2 for movies that get it wrong. One of them is The Hangover.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. I love the movie. I think it's hilarious, but there's no way that they wouldn't be dead.
Yeah.
The end of that day. The other one is another movie it's a dumb movie, but I love it. It's called Beer Fest. And it's about a underground beer drinking competition. It's from the guys who did Super Troopers, the Broken Lizard comedy troupe. So it's funny and irreverent, but definitely not accurate.
The first rule of Beer Fest is we don't talk about Beer Fest.
Except they say it in German in the movie. Two that I had for getting it right was Leaving Las Vegas.
Yes.
Which is really accurate, like portrayal of somebody who's like
Depressingly accurate.
depressingly accurate, portrayal of somebody falling into alcoholism. With Kevin's favorite actor, Nick Cage, and an Oscar-winning performance. The other one I have is a movie that came out recently. It stars Mads Mikkelsen. It's called Another Round. It was filmed in Denmark, so it's in his like native language. But it's a really good movie. It's about a group of teachers who kind of make this drinking pact where each one of them gets drunk before going into school to see like what happens. And then his character kind of gets like carried away with it a little bit. But it kind of shows it's very accurate in like the whole like drinking game kind of like challenging thing.
You know one that gets it wrong? It's Cocktail. Because nobody's waiting for the fucking drink to be around. Just pour my goddamn
you're in a crowded bar. I've never been to a crowded bar where the bartender had enough time to flip the bottles in the air before serving me.
Exactly. Pour my goddamn drink.
That being said, it's still a movie bar I wouldn't mind hanging out with.
True enough.
Just because Elizabeth Shue is there.
Elizabeth Shue.
Who's also in Leaving Las Vegas.
Yes.
Let's see. Should we do the next question or should we go to a
do one more question?
Do another question. Okay. Next one, Suds and Scripts on Reddit. I went to Reddit for some of these. I can't believe I like tried, but I went to Reddit for some of these. This person wants to know, what's the worst drink you've ever tried because a movie made it look cool? This was a really tough one because, the three of us are for all intents and purposes functional alcoholics, so we've drank a lot.
I could tell you what drink I hate, and a lot of films or some films make it look like everybody loves it. Is I hate Jaeger.
Yeah,
I hate Jägermeister.
There's a stand-up comedian, David Tell, who used to do this bit. He used to do this bit early in his career where he would talk about how he would do Jaeger shots and then make really bad decisions. And so he would like talk about the bad decisions he makes, and then at the end of the joke he would go, Jaeger. And it's true because at Katie's, what was it? It was her 30th birthday. You guys were there. It was the Mad River in
Old City.
Right, in Old City. So we were doing the drinks at the bar. We had the private bar for an hour or whatever it was, and I had done a few Jaeger shots, which was a bad idea.
That's a bad idea.
At one point, I was at the bar with a couple of my cousins and a couple of Katie's friends, and I said to the bartender, "Another round of Jaeger shots for everybody." And I was already like fucking hammered at this point, and didn't know that the happy hour that we had paid for was over.
Oh,
so I paid for this round of Jaeger shots, and boy, was I shocked the next day when I looked at my checking account and $120 was missing.
Jaeger.
So yeah, that's a good one, man. I didn't even think of that. Like,
I can't. Yeah.
Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
I can't think of one that I've wanted to try, but one that was brought to my attention. I want to say in a movie was a New Jersey Turnpike, and the description of that is so vile that it's like I will never, ever get that. No. Which is, if though our listeners aren't aware, what's that?
It's like a garbage pail drink.
It is. It's the bar rag that's mopped up everything off of the bar and then wrung out into a glass.
I've heard it called other things in other places, but around here we call it the Jersey Turnpike. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The only one that I could think of, because I have tried it before. I don't know if it's the worst one I ever had, but it's the only one that came to mind was in Groundhog Day. Annie McDowell's always ordering a sweet vermouth on the rocks with a twist. Oh. And Bill Murray at one point starts ordering it for her because he's trying to get with her and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I like vermouth as like a mixer in my cocktails, but a sweet vermouth on the rocks with a twist is not something I like straight up.
No.
So that would be mine. But those are all really good ones. I had a hard time with that one. Let's see. Let's go into one of our suggestions. The second suggestion is probably my favorite. Mike and I were talking about this on Saturday. Ginger Tongue on Reddit. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry for your handle, Ginger Tongue. Please do Drunk History Film Edition. Try to recount a classic movie plot after a few cocktails. I need to hear you guys slur your way through The Godfather. Well, if you go back to episode 50, you can kind of hear us slur our way through The Godfather.
Let me say something to this suggestion. That would be nice and easy for the two of you this during the summer where you don't have to get up and go to work. Me, I have a full-time job all year round, and we do this on a Thursday night. I have to work the next goddamn morning. I ain't getting too fucked up.
I'm gonna put it even. I'm gonna go even further with this. You can't do it because of your job. Kevin probably wouldn't be able to do it because of the baby.
Yeah.
You would have to watch the baby the next day. So the only person out of the three of us who could really get drunk, hammered, and try to recount a movie while slurring is me because I have no life.
Unless we decide to do that and we do it on a Friday night,
Yeah.
then
Well, I came up
with
with an alternate to this that I thought would have been funny is I get completely sloshed and you guys throw movies at me and I try to summarize them. You can like test my movie knowledge while I am thrashed. I figured I could do like 3 shots of that overproof rum that I had a few weeks ago. That should do it.
Yes,
I actually like this one. I think this one's really funny. It's not one that I want to do right away, but it's one I think is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Let's go to another question here. Blockbuster Boo Boo on X. I love the fucking handles are great. Writes, if movie genres were drinks, what would each one be? Like, for instance, horror is definitely a shot of something questionable. I didn't pre-write answers to this one because that's like
I'll give you one.
tough.
Animation would be a Shirley Temple.
Oh, that's good. That is good. Yeah. I thought horror would be a Bloody Mary.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Tragedy could be a Jersey Turnpike.
Rom-coms or Cosmos.
Rosenbaums could be Cosmos. Could also be like a Manhattan.
Could be.
Like some kind of like fancy cocktail.
Yeah.
I think like a comedy is basically just like a beer or something like that.
Yeah. Westerns or margaritas.
or just whiskey on the rocks.
Or just whiskey on the rocks.
I
You see, I had that for action.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also
Sci-fi.
thought like, what's that, sci-fi?
Sci-fi.
That would be the Pangalactic Gargle Blaster. For all my Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy fans out there. Sci-fi.
Or was it? What was that from Doctor Who? That Captain Jack ordered before the ship blew up.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name of it. I think for sci-fi, I would want one of those like cocktails that kind of like glow and under like a black light.
Call it Romulan ale.
Yeah. I was also thinking like for oh shit, I totally forgot what I was gonna say now.
Yeah, for English movies, I have gin and tonics.
Yeah, for gangster films, I was thinking 7 and 7 because you see that a lot in like Goodfellas and things like that. Yeah, I think I think we covered the bases here. There's a lot. It's hard to like say like because there's so many movies that are like there's so many genres, but then there's also so many movies that are like a mix of different genres. So
well, if you do a mix of different genres, you would call that the Long Island iced tea because there's so many mixed of alcohols.
Or the Jersey Turnpike.
Yeah, but you can actually drink a Long Island iced tea.
Yeah. For movies about food, we can do some chocolate cake shots.
What would you do for mysteries?
Mysteries.
Mysteries.
In Clue, they are drinking brandy.
Oh yes.
Little brandy after dinner. So yeah, there's some really cool ones here. That's actually something that could probably be like an episode itself.
Yeah.
You know, like what cocktail goes with what movie or something like that. Stellar Future Radio on X. This is one of our friends over in the Podcast United group chat that we have going on X. Says, what's the best decade for cinema?
80s by far.
I went 90s.
90s.
I think there were a lot of turning points in the 90s. A lot of changes, a lot of cinematic leaps forward. Jurassic Park, Matrix.
I just think they have better stories in the 80s.
Forrest.
I cheated a little bit because I gave 2 decades for 2 different reasons. I said the 80s for rewatchability because I could watch any movie from the 80s like a million times. Empire, Ghostbusters. I watched Police Academy the other night just because it was on. Major League, like all these movies from the 80s, I could just rewatch.
One of the guys.
Yeah. Soul Man, I could watch them all over and over again. But for quality and for impact on Hollywood, I said the 70s. 70s was a decade where movies were winning Best Picture Oscars that were also popular films.
Yeah.
And you also had groundbreaking films like Jaws starting the summer blockbuster trend. Alien showing you a different type of like sci-fi film. You had Star Wars, Godfather 1 and 2, Rocky, like all these films that just kind of changed cinema. So I kind of cheat a little bit. I said 70s for quality, but 80s for rewatchability.
Mm-hmm.
Although I wouldn't shit on the 90s either because I love Jurassic Park. It's the whole reason I love movies. So. Let's see. We'll go to one of our suggestions. Kit Kat Bear Trap on Reddit says we should do an episode on underrated movies. We kind of talked a little bit about that with Jack the other day when he was on for our Movies that Time Forgot. We had mentioned
a lot of our movies from Time Forgot are kind of underrated. So,
sometimes they're underrated. Sometimes they just, right. Anymore you look at a movie today and you're probably going to see a sequel or something to it.
Yeah.
Movies from the 80s and things that we grew up with. It was just, that was it. That was the movie,
Yeah. Yeah.
That wouldn't be a bad episode, though.
This would be a good episode. It would be one that we need some time to like research too, because there's like so many films. That could actually be like a multiple part episode. Yeah. That's one I'd bring Jack back on for too.
Yeah, exactly.
Could talk about Nell.
Nell.
The Spitfire.
As a change intervene.
Contact.
I like Contact. I'm not gonna lie. Let's go back to questions here. Sadboy32 on Reddit. This is actually the second comment we gotten from him. We had a comment from him on a episode a few weeks back. He wrote to us on Reddit and said, "If each of you were a movie theater concession item, what would you be?" And I said, "That's easy for me. I'm a pretzel bite." Because that is the only thing I ever get when I go to the movie theaters. I get pretzel bites and cheese.
That's not what Adrian thought you would say.
What do you think I would have said?
Junior Mints.
Junior Mints.
Now I wrote Junior Mints because it's chocolate, it's peppermint, it's delicious.
Listen, I love Junior Mints. It's one of my favorite candies. I love the cookie dough bites. They're one of my favorites too. I don't get candy when I go to the movies because it's like $18 for a box of Junior Mints.
True. Now, one of my favorite things to do is to go to the Woodhaven Theater, go to the dollar store 3 stores down, load up my wife's or my whoever I was seeing, load up her purse with whatever Dollar Tree had in terms of candy, and just go on in. That was it,
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be boring because the only thing I ever get from the movie is popcorn.
Yeah.
That's all I ever get.
All I ever get is pretzel bites, unless they're out of them, and then I get nachos. I just get anything that has the cheese dip in it.
I would say I get the pretzel bites too. That's Megan's favorite. That's my favorite too.
Yeah. So I think I was one of the easier questions we had. Let's do the last suggestion. Is my own suggestion, which is I would like to do an episode. I think it'd be funny to do an episode on movies that the Muppets should never be cast in.
Oh, God.
So we've done Muppets recast. What would be like a Muppet don't cast?
Don't cast the Muppets in
Schindler's List. That's number one movie on the list. Like I wouldn't do
Rosemary's Baby.
no Muppet Saving Private Ryan.
I said Pulp Fiction, but you guys are like, no, I definitely want to see the Muppets.
I would
in Pulp
love
Fiction.
to see a Pulp Fiction Muppets
I don't
movie.
know
The
about
Muppets should never do natural born killers.
Yeah. That'd be really funny. Oh my god, like I think 80s movie that the Muppets should never do.
Any horror movie from the 80s, they should not do.
You know, I was listening, like I was like, I wanted to say Silence of the Lambs, but I would give anything to see a Muppet Silence of the Lambs.
Well, they should do like Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street.
They eat his liver with some fava beans and a nice can.
Yay! Would you fuck me? I fuck me. I fuck me hard.
Waka waka.
Was she a great big fat lady? That's why I would like to see him in Pulp Fiction too. I had this uncomfortable piece of metal up my ass for 4 years.
Hey, Lee, you skipped the question.
I skipped what?
You skipped the question.
No, I know. I was going to go back to it.
Oh,
I was
okay.
kind of like jumping around a little bit. Yeah. So we have the next one is Jacked Up Review Show Podcast, which is another one of our Podcast United friends on X. What film do you think is really good but hard to rewatch?
Ernest Goes to Jail.
and that's just because of quality.
That's just, I mean, it's you have to watch it once, but it's tough to do it again.
I have a whole list for this.
I'm going with Schindler's List.
I don't know what it says about me, but I find Schindler's List kind of rewatchable.
Yeah, no, I rewatch it. It breaks my. I mean, look, sometimes you just need a good cry, and that's what Schindler's List is there for. To get.
I just think it's a really well-made film with great acting and a testament to Spielberg's growth as a director, and that's kind of like why I find it rewatchable. But I definitely have ones that I can't watch again.
Yeah, the Human Centipede doesn't count.
Human Centipede, I won't watch again. I have a whole list. I have 12 Years a Slave.
Oh, yeah.
Really good movie. Can't watch that again. Manchester by the Sea. If you want to talk about a depressing film, Jesus Christ.
Green Mile.
Green Mile. I could watch it again, but it is a really depressing film.
Yeah.
I don't watch movies to be depressed. That's what I say. I watch it once. It's really good. I can't watch it again.
One of Kevin's favorites, Midsummer. It's a hard.
Yeah, I can't watch that. I can barely make it through the first time.
Requiem for a Dream is probably top of the list for movies I can never watch again. Passion at a Crisis, tough to watch.
Mm-hmm.
The Lovely Bones, a really good Stanley Tucci performance, but a really hard movie to watch.
Yeah.
And one that I actually have watched more than once, but it's still a difficult movie to watch is Hereditary.
Toni Collette.
Toni Collette has a tough movie to watch. So that's a really good question too. Let's see here. We got one more question. At Rachel Recommends on Instagram wonders, if you could greenlight a sequel to any movie that never got one, what would it be?
Green Lantern.
Oh God!
Just kidding. Honestly, though,
hey, hold on. I got a new soundbite for you, Kev. Hold on.
No, honestly, I think I'd say Man of Steel. I know you guys didn't like Man of Steel because of the ending. I think that was just bad ending. But I think I would like to see Henry Cavill do another solo Superman film. Maybe not a Snyder film, but something that
wasn't just the end. I thought the whole movie was just too dark for a Superman film.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that a little bit. That it was a little too dark. I liked Henry Cavill as Superman.
Oh yeah, I liked Henry
Cavill. Nothing against him.
I had nothing. There wasn't a big problem with the way Jonathan died. It was dark, but like I said, take Snyder out of it. Give it to somebody else who could do something better with it. And I would like to see a sequel with him to see how it would come out. I feel like we are shortchanged there. You know,
Yeah.
they went
I
straight from Man of
I
Steel
really
to
liked
Dawn
I
of
liked
Justice.
Michael Shannon as Zod.
Yeah,
I thought he was really, really good.
yeah.
You know what? If I could greenlight a sequel, I want to see a Blazing Saddles too.
Little-
back in the day, back in the day.
back in the day when the entire cast was still alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to get a sequel to the movie The Nice Guys with Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe. I've talked about this movie to you guys before. It is one of the funniest, cleverest movies that I've seen in a long time. It's kind of got like cult status now because it didn't do well in the theater, but there are a lot of people talking about it online now. And it's just a really well acted movie. It's written by Shane Black, who was one of the co-writers on Predator. I just really loved it, and it was set up for a sequel, but it never got made because it didn't do well at the theater. So I also have 2 TV shows I would wish we could have.
I want to add one more movie though. Fast and Furious. I really wish Fast and Furious.
No.
We get another sequel.
No, what I really like would be another Dungeons and Dragons.
Ah, yeah. The one with Chris Pine.
It's fine, yeah.
Yeah, I would like another one of that one. TV shows, I want more Firefly, obviously.
Yep.
Couldn't
More
not
Supernatural.
gonna get that, but I would. More super, yeah, another 18 more seasons. No, but definitely Firefly. And the other one is Netflix's Mindhunter, which was a David Fincher produced show, which is an amazing show. But I read recently that Netflix is planning a possible trilogy of Mindhunter films that'll finish the story.
Nice.
And I'm like, that is awesome. I really hope that's true because it is an amazing show.
Well,
It follows the characters from Silence of the Lambs, right? The FBI investigators, doesn't it?
No, it's based on some real like cases and people. It's about it's the FBI in the 70s when they were developing their serial killer like psychology.
Right.
Oh, so it's the pre Criminal Minds series.
Sort of, yeah. It's the FBI developing their like criminal psychology department. So like the one character interviews all these like serial killers who were like real serial killers, like Ed Gein and people like that.
I hate to tell you, Lee, though, I wouldn't hold my breath for those movies too often because the way they come out with Stranger Things.
I know. I'm not holding my breath. I just said I hope it's true. All right, so that rounds out our questions and suggestions. Let's look at some comments. These are just some things that people had to say about our little show. At Movie Buff Marie on Thread said the films of fermentation or the films that find. I'm sorry. Let me try that again. The Films That Time Forgot series is my absolute favorite. It's mine too, Maria. I really love doing Films Time Forgot. Please don't stop doing these. I've added so many random gems to my watch list thanks to you guys.
I really hope somebody watched The Dream Team after after that recommendation. I told that to my pop and he was like, "Oh my god, I forgot that was such a great movie." I was like, "Yeah, it was."
It's funny, after you guys left the party on Saturday, we were talking about it and Pat was like, "Oh, I love that movie." At Emily Slate on Thread said, "Been binging episodes while I work, and now I feel like I found my people." Well, thank you, Emily. Glad. We are good people. You need to find more. You need to find new friends. At Jenna _B_85 on Insta writes, "I just listened to your 80s movies that still hold up. Pure gold. Totally forgot how much I loved Midnight Run until you brought it up. Thanks for the nostalgia blast." Thank you for listening. And
the next one we need to put in a some kind of don't listen to us while you drive.
Yeah, right.
Apparently,
yeah, because that's the last one here. Matt Cinemax on X wrote, "Your episode on great actors in bad movies was hilarious. I nearly drove off the road laughing when you were talking about De Niro and Rocky and Bullwinkle. Keep them coming."
Please
So
stay on the road. Do not cause accidents
Yeah.
because of us.
don't cause accidents because of us. We're not worth it. So thanks you everybody for sending in your questions, comments, and suggestions. We really enjoyed taking a look at those, and hopefully we can do another one of these in the future because this was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I would like to encourage everybody to remember to join us this Thursday, which is June 26th at 7:30 p.m. For a live chat on our 200th episode anniversary. Our spectacular. We're going to be sending. I already sent the link out, but I'll be sending it out again for anybody who wants to join us. Mike, you have any beer trivia history for us this evening?
I do. Snake venom, brewed by Brewmeister, holds the title of the world's strongest beer with a staggering 67.5 ABV.
Christ. I have to get that beer for the night that you guys tried to get me to summarize movies while drunk.
Jesus, yeah.
We have a cinema quote of the week.
Oh, let me see if I can do this right. Life is a movie. Write your own ending. Jim
That was
Henson.
pretty. That wasn't bad. That was bad. It definitely sounds like a Jim Henson kind of quote. How were your drinks this evening, gentlemen?
Quite nice. Quite nice.
Yes.
Never go wrong with the gin and tonic.
Never go wrong with a Mike's Hard Lemonade. And I would say you can't go wrong with that lime flavored garage beer, Mike. That's pretty good too.
Yeah.
I think all of us just went for something refreshing considering it was 917 degrees today. So
Hot as balls.
And add 40 degrees being in the boat.
yeah, right. It was the surface of the sun where Mike was working today.
And
You go back tomorrow?
Tomorrow
back
and
here?
Wednesday.
Oh, Jesus.
What?
Are you off on Thursday?
No, it's just there's a lot of moving parts to get things going, and we're like, we got the contract like Friday.
But are you going to be like, you're not on a boat on Thursday, right?
No, I should be fine.
All right, cool. Need your energy up for the live spectacular, Mike.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight for 199, the mailbag. We hope you enjoyed listening to this podcast as much as we enjoyed recording it for you. Remember, if you send us your emails at filmsoffermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsoffermentation to find our social media and podcast links, you might be part of the next mailbag episode. You can watch our podcast on the Pod Nation Media Network on Roku. We're also on YouTube and Rumble.
And
Or you can
MySpace.
Yeah, it's in MySpace or Friendster. You could also join our official newsletter at Substack or donate at patreon.com/films and fermentation.
You can pay that. Oh.
Yeah. Make sure you stop by the crossroads between Pickled and Fermented Thursday, June 26th for our live 200th episode spectacular. The chat will be open. Come join us and talk to us about some movies. In the meantime, I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
This has been the Films and Fermentation Podcast, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers.
Good morning, short, and it's time to rise and shine. Grab your mugs and movies, it's fermentation time. We're laughing and we're sipping, the popcorn's in the bowl, and guess what? Our mailbag is out of control. It's mail time, ding ding, let's see what you wrote. From silly little questions to a heartfelt note, cheers to you, the fans who care. We're reading your letters with love and flair. Will Kevin rant? Will Mike mispronounce? Will Leo read a limerick that really counts? You asked, we answer with giggles galore. It's mailbag madness, who could ask for more?
How to get my money's worth out of that AI?
You need to send me that pic so I show Adrian.
Yeah, I will. All right, guys. I'll see you later.
Like,
See you later.